But today, I don't feel even slightly alone. I hear the babble of people as they chatter on and on. I am amazed at our impulse to express ourselves, explain ourselves, tell stories to one another. The simple sandwich I always get amazes me too. As I eat it, as my body bakes in the sun that pours down on my neighborhood, each bite, feeling sacred, reminds me that I am not forsaken. Hello everyone, Namaste. I hope that you all are doing great. And by the way, do you remember the last time that I talked about creating an entire playlist or dedicating an entire playlist to Jhumpa Lahiri? Well, here I am talking about another book by her, which is Whereabouts. And this is such a masterpiece that I cannot even begin to tell you. I am about to tell you about it, and this is how the cover looks, although I am going to show you how it looks from the inside. That was just the dust jacket. It's a hardcover. This is how it looks from the inside. See? Yeah. So the book follows the journey of a woman who is narrating to you her life story, and she lives in a city where she knows a lot of people. She has colleagues, she has friends, she has neighbors, but despite of this fact that she has so many people she is surrounded by so many people, she lives a solitary life. And there have been moments when she feels lonely, she feels all alone, and there have been moments when she was very grateful for the life that she has. So this is the book that is about the narrator and her life story, her journey. And even though this book is set in a city, there's a narrator, but despite of that, both the narrator and the city have been kept anonymous. We don't know about the name of both the city and the narrator here, but owing to the description of the city in the book, one could deduce that it talks about Italy, but we cannot say that with certainty, right? I mean, it has not been named, so we can only deduce with the description that it provides, that this book has provided with you and provided to you. RIP my grammar. So this book was originally written in Italian and it was published in 2018, but glad to know that this book was translated into English by the same author, by the author herself. And you know what happens is that whenever we read translated work, some sort of meaning, some meanings just gets lost in this translation, the process of translation. But the fact that the writer has herself translated this work, it makes sure that none of the meanings are lost, and all of the things that she wanted to express through this book are still intact. And I felt so, there were waves of emotions while reading this book. So Jhumpa Lahiri moved to Italy. She learned an entirely different language, and then she started writing in Italian. How inspiring is that, and how unbelievable it sounds that you move to a different place altogether and you learn a different language and you start writing in it. That is so inspirational and unbelievable at times as well. And almost every book that you pick from her set of literary works are so meticulously written that you won't be able to read it with a sense of detachment. When we read a few books, we don't feel as much while reading them. We don't feel a sense of attachment with those books, but that does not happen with Jhumpa Lahiri, because every time that I have picked up her work, every time that I have read her books, I have connected with that book so much, to such an extent that I was completely immersed and I was feeling all the things with the characters. So yeah, I really loved this book, and it has been a well established fact in the minds of many readers that Jhumpa Lahiri, the themes that she explores is of the nuances involved by being caught up in between two conflicting cultures of distinct religious and social differences. But Whereabouts is nothing of that sort. And while I was reading it, I felt as if I am reading someone's journal. But the beauty of it is that I felt as if I am reading not someone else's diary, but as if it is my own diary that I am reading. They were so relatable at every point of the book. The story, of this that the narrator is telling you about herself is so relatable that I highlighted the book, I annotated the book, I clicked several pictures and I shared them. So that is what happened with this book, my experience of reading it. And I am someone who does not annotate, okay? So I have this feeling in me that I do not want to ruin these pages. What if I ruin them? What if it does not look good? Because obviously you are writing on these pages with pen and with sketches, you are highlighting it. So there's this feeling in me which says that do not ruin these pages. Keep the book intact, tucked safely in your shelf. But you know, I read this book last year, and while I was reading it, at the same time I was also watching a series on Amazon Prime called Wilds, and there's a character in the show, there's a girl who receives an annotated book by someone she loves, and that is what truly motivated me, inspired me to annotate as well. And that was really beautiful. Her journey was really beautiful, from reading the book given by him, then to being able to let go of it, because there was a situation that demanded so being able to let go of that book. So that was a really beautiful journey. I loved that show, and I'm eagerly waiting for the season 3 of that show. So yeah, that is what I did with this book. And back then, when I finished reading this book, finished with all of the annotations and and the highlighter that I used on it, after that I wrote an entire paragraph, a big paragraph, that why did I do that? I should not have highlighted my book. I should not have used pen on these pages. Why did I do it? I am so stupid for ruining a book. Now I want another book. I want a new book, or the same book with a new book. Okay. My head was all messed up, but at the same time I was writing some comforting words for myself as well, that you know what, it's okay, it's all right, people do annotate books and it's completely fine, okay? So that happened. But now that I have reopened this book and I have read all the things that I have written in it, I feel so happy that I did that. And I feel that everyone should annotate their books. And with a book as great as this, I feel I have no guilt, no regret at all that I used pen on these books. And I think I would like to read some of my annotations to you. Not some, I'll read only one of my annotations to you. Okay. So there's an entry in this book where the narrator has met someone and she feels so blissful to having met this person. She feels so grateful that she's getting to spend time with this person and to getting to know him. But they part ways. Both of them, they go back to their own places, and I have annotated something about that in this book, which I am about to read, and that is, but the question is, did you let go of the feeling after you returned, or did you carry it? Do you long to feel that peace that you felt in those moments? It seems that the effect he had on you has washed away, and you are back to the fragmented world. So there are many annotations like that, and I would not just give it to you, okay? It is very personal, and I really feel happy that I annotated this book, and I am looking forward to doing that in future, even if it disturbs me for a while, because it does disturb me. I don't want my books to be written over with pen or anything, but yeah, I am looking forward to doing that again, because this was a very great experience to be able to read all the things that you have written and go back to the experience that you had while you read it. So coming back to the book, the narrator tells you about the relationships that she shares with her parents, her friends, her colleagues, and how she feels about herself. The readers get to sit in the mind of this narrator and get to experience or to read about everything that she feels, all of her emotions and all of her experiences that she has had in her life. And at times she was so lonely, she was completely in a desolate state, but there have been moments when she was so in solace with the mundane. She was so gracefully living in the moment, mindfully. She was such a carpe diem kind of vibe character during those moments, and that was so inspiring to read all of these pages. And it is not negative self-talk, but it is something that you while you think about yourself, you are resonating upon all of the things that you are experiencing in life and trying to talk to you basically. So it was really beautiful. There was nothing like a negative self-talk or like I am worth nothing, nothing of that sort, but it was a very normal narrative where you get to relate with the character. All of the things that you are feeling is so valid, at the same time so inspiring, and that is the reason why I really love to read this book. And Jhumpa Lahiri is I do not have words to describe her writing, that she is so great, and I look forward to reading more books by her. Now, talking about the writing style of this book, it is poetic, but not to an extent that pushes you off. There are books written in such poetic language, throughout every line, every page there is a poetic language, but that really pushes me off. I am not able to, if it's poetry, I would like to read that. But if I'll pick a book where there's only poetic language, I would not be able to finish that book, and I have done that before. I was not able to finish a book that I started just because of the use of poetic language. It was through and through, it was filled with the poetic language, so I was not able to finish it. But that does not happen in this book. It is something like waves of emotions, and it is so gentle that these waves are washing over you, but you are not drowning in them. You are able to float. That is how I felt about the writing style. Okay. There are books that would require you to dive deep into its hidden layers, and it would demand you to peel off every layer one by one to be able to comprehend the meaning of the book. Like Tomb of Sands by Gitanjali Shri, and the original publication, that is Ret Samadhi by Gitanjali Shri. That is that kind of book. But what happens is with this book is that it is nothing of that sort. It reveals to you all of its layers in the most unapologetic, most upfront and graceful way possible. It was such a great read for me, and I really hope that I have convinced you to pick this book up and to read it as well. And if I have done that, please do let me know in the comments, and if you have read it, please share your views about this book as well, your perspectives. I would love to read that. And if you liked watching this video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, please give it a thumbs down. No worries. Just stay happy, stay blessed, and keep reading until we meet next time. Ciao.